Boom, baby, explosive. What is going on? Morad, Fiki. I'm so happy that you're here with me. Today is Tuesday, January 25th. Can you believe that January is already pretty much behind us? This is just crazy. So, yeah, I'm really excited that we're going to be discussing real estate and everything that I've learned during the last 9, almost 10 years in Houston real estate, greater Houston real estate. There's so many different avenues and facets that we could discuss in real estate, but we're going to keep it short and sweet. Today, we're going to discuss real estate investment strategy and the architecture of a deal. We have to have an easy way, a simple and easy way that we can look over a deal and even see if it even is a deal. How do we even know, is it a deal? And by the way, we cannot spend a ton of time looking at deals that aren't deals. So we got somebody saying Houston Fire from Birmingham, Alabama in the house. Birmingham, Alabama. What's going on? So appreciate it. So going back to what I was saying, you got to be able to look at a deal quickly and see, is this even worth me looking at? The first look is it even worth me looking at? All right. So there's a ton of deals out there and there's a ton of non-deals out there. So that's what I want to discuss: real estate investment strategy, fix and flip investment strategy. I have a lot of questions. A lot of people ask me, hey, I have this money that I want to invest. Where do I put it? Where do I invest it? Or what should I do? And the question I ask back is, what do you want to do? What is your investment strategy? What is your criteria? How much time do you have, or are you willing to put into this? Are you looking for a passive investment? Are you looking for a active investment? And there's a big difference. Fixing and flipping is not a passive strategy. You better be on top of it. And we're going to discuss some horror stories. We're going to discuss exactly why. Whereas multifamily, long-term passive investing is very different. That's not something I need to check on daily, like on fixing and flipping. So there's just so many different strategies. Fix and flip is great because you can double your money in a fast amount of time, maybe in 90 days or less. This has happened quite often. But, once you get that lump sum, okay, now what do I do? You've got to put it somewhere else, or you got to find another investment vehicle. Whereas a long-term cash flowing investment just cash flows forever if you want it to. But also that's not a 90-day strategy. You're not going to say, okay, I'm going to put every dime that I have to my name in this investment, but if I need it tomorrow, I need my money back. That's not how that works. Because why? Your investment is literally in the apartment building. So, meaning it's a non-liquid investment. It's not like a stock where I can just push a button on E-Trade and liquidate immediately. It is a non-liquid investment. You have to either find someone to buy you out, or you have to wait till that investment refinances or liquidates. So there's a lot of different investment strategies. On these trainings, we really don't have enough time to cover all of them, but we're going to cover what we can, and we're going to, start at the basics and build from there. So with that, let's jump into it. So let me make sure. All right, there we go. So with this explosive growth, this is the culmination of everything that I've learned in the last 10 years. And also I want to add that, my parents both immigrated to the United States from other countries, from Venezuela and from Egypt. And so I was born here in the US, but I didn't have a big trust fund or a wealthy family member to teach me everything they knew about real estate. I started from zero. And that means if I can do it, you can do it. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out. Now let's move on. Real quick, as we get started, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a CPA. I am a licensed real estate agent and the real estate investor, and we'll discuss my own personal results and experiences. I cannot guarantee any results for anyone. And there are many external and internal factors involved, and every deal is unique within its own right. So really, you have to make your own investment decision. And anybody who tells you that there is no risk is either lying to you or they're a crook. Okay, because every investment, any investment, has a certain amount of risk. Now, what you want to do is you want to take calculated risk. You want to get experience, and you want to calculate your risk and make sure that you're making sound decisions and sound investment decisions. And that's what you want to do. But real estate investing is risky, and should you decide to invest, you do so at your own risk. All right, we'll go into it. I want to talk. Today's word of the day is motivation. What is motivation? Motivation is the reason or reasons one has for acting or behaving in a particular way, or the general desire or willingness of someone to do something. What is your motivation? Why would you be motivated to get into real estate investing? And I know that, of course, it's like, hey, I want to make money and I want to get rich. But what is the real why? That's what I want to talk to next. What is your why? What is your big why? What is your why that resonates? And why would you keep pushing through even when it gets difficult? And it will be difficult. Any new business is going to be difficult. There's a learning curve. You're going to make mistakes. Hopefully, they're not devastating mistakes, but you're going to make mistakes. You're going to learn from them. You're going to move on. And in real estate, there are difficulties. So anybody who says that this is going to be simple and sweet, they're not telling the whole story. We got someone saying, my motivation is my family. Man, that's awesome. Who is saying that? Can we see on Facebook? I want to give him a shout out. Yeah. Who?
Bailey Sure.
No, who? Okay. So Bailey says that my motivation is my family. So, and that's awesome. That's my motivation too. That I want to provide my family with opportunities that I didn't have. So I joined the Marines when I was 18 because I didn't have a college fund and I didn't want to go into piles of debts, of just piles and piles of debt. $100,000 in debt because you got this piece of paper that says you graduated college. I didn't want to do that, but I did want to go to college, and so I joined the Marines. So my family is my big why. I want to provide my family with opportunities that I didn't have and provide them with limitless opportunities. And that can absolutely be done in real estate. Real estate has been the greatest source of wealth for the last 2,000 years. No matter what technological improvements there are, and Amazon and everything going online and the metaverse and all this and cryptocurrency, we still need a place to sleep at night, right? You still need to eat food. I mean, as far as I know, you still need to eat food and you still need to lie down somewhere at night. And hopefully it's nice and cozy and comfortable for you and your family. So that is, my motivation. And we got somebody saying my motivation is health. Army vet. That's awesome. Absolutely. When you make a lot of money, you can also take care of your health, but don't let your health, don't delay your health in order to go after the big checks. You've got to do both. Stay healthy and then get this business going. So that is fantastic. All right, day 2, we're going to cover day 1. We did a brief overview. Day 2, we're going to cover fix and flip investment strategy. We're going to looking at deals. How do we know if there's a deal? And we're going to discuss that. We're going to discuss sourcing deals, financing deals, hiring the right contractor, paying your contractor on a schedule. We're going to discuss that. We're going to discuss joint ventures, partnerships, and then fix and flip versus buy and hold. So we're going to discuss all of these. Let's go right into the next slide. All right, so fix and flip investment strategy. Basically, the formula that we use when we look at deals is 70% of the ARV, the after repair value, minus the cost of repairs equals the maximum allowable offer. Now, what is the ARV? The ARV means after we fix this house, after we fix it. So the house needs a new roof, it needs new plumbing, it needs new flooring, it needs to be updated. After we do all that, what would be the value of that home? So not the value of the home today, but after we do the repairs, what would be the value? And I want to add a little something. When you build your power team, you're going to need a great contractor. You're going to need a great realtor. I know of one. You're going to need a great lender. And the thing is, when you look for a contractor and a realtor, you want honest people that are going to give you no kidding honest quote on work and no kidding honest after repair value. So you don't want to go with the realtor who gives you the highest number possible just so they can get some business, because they have no business. Because when you're running your numbers off a fantasy number that is not realistic and it's way overpriced, then when it comes time to sell it and you can't get that value, you're going to have to slash the price and then you might lose money. So that is not how you run numbers. And, a great mentor of mine taught me, when we look at a deal, we got to look at the best case scenario, the worst case scenario, and the most likely scenario. And what's optimal is that in any of these cases, we can make money any which way. Any which way that goes down, we're going to make money. That is how you know you got a deal. And same thing with the cost of repairs. The realtor is going to give you the ARV, the after repair value, and hopefully it's conservative, not too low that it's super uber conservative that doesn't make sense, but conservative enough to where we might be able to get this price for it, but most likely we'll get this price, and that's what you want. Now on the contractor, same thing. You don't want contractors who are just looking for a job and they don't have any business and they're going to give you this super low quote that's not realistic. And then when you get into the renovations, it's like, oh, by the way, the price on lumber went up. Oh, by the way, the price on these fixtures went up. Oh, by the way, I was totally wrong on this. And now your investment, your repair budget has doubled. That will kill the deal. That is a bad deal. I need a contractor who's going to be honest, give me the no kidding cost of repairs. Number one, I know number two, they're going to do good work. They're not going to cut corners. They're going to do it right, so we don't have to do it all over again. When I was in middle school, one of my shop professor had a big sign, and it said, "If you don't have time to do it right the first time, where are you going to find the time to do it all over again?" Right? That always stuck with me. And in real estate investing, in fixing and flipping, especially, time is money and money is money. If we have to do a job all over again, that labor is gone. That's a sunk cost. So the guys aren't going to do a whole bunch of more labor for free. You're going to have to do the job.
it just has your picture.
I'm back.
Or no, you're not. Like it just has that.
I'm back. Yes, sorry about that. We broke the internet. So we broke the internet. Yeah, so that's great. Yeah, so we're back on. Sorry about that. Thank you for staying with me. Yeah, jump back on. We are coming back on. All right. Great. So let's come back to where we were. Let me see if I can share this screen with you. All right. Here we go. Yes. Yes, here we are. So going back to where we were, fix and flip investment strategy. And I was also discussing about finding an honest contractor. And then the other thing is, and we're going to discuss about the contractor's payment schedule. You definitely want to work with a contractor who knows what they're doing and has extensive amount of experience. And they're not, past due and running behind, and they're going to use your money to finish someone else's job because, contractors do that. There's some contractors that are actually, they're great contractors. They're just terrible business people. And they don't run their business like a business. And so they're using your funds to pay the next guy. They're using your funds to finish the next job that they're behind on because they bought a brand new truck. And so they're not managing their money properly. And what's happening is they're using the next job to pay for the last one and until the well runs dry. And if it runs dry on your job, then they're going to disappear. So you want to make sure you have a contractor that knows what they're doing, has extensive amount of experience, and can give you an honest, no kidding cost of repairs. This is a huge number. This is the second factor in the equation. We need to know what is the cost of repairs so that you come to your maximum allowable offer. And so if we have a $200,000 house, that's what it's worth after we repair it. And we're keeping the numbers simple. So I would say 70% times 200 is 140. That brings the cost of repairs. I get this number from my contractor is 37,500. My maximum allowable offer is 102,500. Now, can we go a little bit higher if we need to? We can, but I would caution you. There's a whole bunch of what ifs. There's a whole lot of what ifs when you're getting involved in fixing and flipping. You don't know what is in the walls. You don't know about the termite damage that might be in the house. You don't know about the corroded pipes that need to be replaced or the foundation that needs work. So you've got to have some contingency space for my what ifs, the what ifs that you don't know about. And that's what's going to keep you to where even if you have some what ifs, you can still sell the house, finish the job, sell the house, and make money. And that's where I see investors get in trouble when they get so excited about a deal and they're willing to pay 80 cents on the dollar or 85 cents on the dollar. You've got to be very cautious. And we'll discuss when can you go higher than 70%, when and why. We'll get to that, but for now, let's focus on the formula. 70% of the ARV minus the cost of repairs is your maximum allowable offer. And that's the offer you would make to someone who's looking to liquidate a home that needs work. Now we're going to look at sourcing deals. Where can we find deals? We can find them on the foreclosure list. We can find them on the tax foreclosures. The foreclosures and the tax foreclosures is on the first Tuesday of every month by law, the first Tuesday of every month in every county. There is a designated area, usually the courthouse steps, or in Harris County, there's not enough space on the courthouse steps, so it's at the Bayou Event Center. On the first Tuesday of every month is the foreclosure sale. And this is a great place where you can find deals. Now, I will say this, you are required to pay cash. If you win the foreclosure sale, that's not the time to go apply for a loan. Okay, you've got to pay for that property cash. And so the foreclosure list is a great place to find deals. The probate list is a great place to find deals. I will say, however, everybody that gets started in this business is so excited to go to the foreclosure sale. And it is pretty fun because you see them auctioning properties like they do in the movies. However, I would caution you, you are bidding against the entire market. And quite often you'll be bidding with people who are willing to pay 95 cents on the dollar. There are some people that if they get a 5% discount on a property, they are ecstatic. That's not who I want to bid against. I'm not going to pay you can have the house. If I'm bidding against someone who's willing to go that high, they can have it. I don't even know what's wrong with this house. By the way, you buy a tax foreclosure auction or a foreclosure auction, you're buying the property as is, where is, with all its defects, and there are no warranties made on that property. You pay cash and it is yours. So you have to have enough padding in there where the what ifs, and there will be what ifs, you'll feel comfortable when you buy that property. Okay, let's look at some of the questions. If I have never participated in a fix or flip, what is my first step? What return should I be looking for, and how much should I calculate for risk? That is a great question. If I've never participated, what is my first step? The first step is finding a deal. And I would say this, and we're going to get into joint ventures and partnerships. If you're new to fixing and flipping, you don't want to, figure this out on your own. I would partner with someone who has some experience and learn from them and cut them in on the deal. They make half of the deal. They help you finance it. They help you find the contractors. They help you manage it. And you're going to learn so much from them, right? Is that worth paying them half of it? I would say it is if you've never done a deal before. What return should I be looking for? Again, we want a gross profit of 30%. That is before you pay all your closing costs. You're going to have closing costs. That's why you have to have a 30% gross profit. That is before the expenses are paid on the back end. And I'm not talking about fixing up the property. That's already paying for that. 30% after you fixed up the property. You need a 30% gross profit, and that's where you're going to take out your closing costs, realtor fees, title fees, and we're looking for a 10 to 15% net profit margin, and we'll get to that. How much should I calculate for risk? 30%, and that's why you do not want to compromise that, because you don't know what is wrong with the property, and you have other closing costs that are going to come into play later. But that's a great question. So let's move on to the next. So, okay, real quick overview, financing the deal. There's so many ways to finance a deal. There are hard money lenders. There are private lenders. You can go to your bank, get a bank line of credit. Credit unions are really good with lines of credit. There's a home equity line of credit. Often we have equity in our house, and we can use an equity line of credit to buy some fix and flip investment properties. Now, you might say, oh, that's risky. Of course it's risky. Any investment is risky. But we're not using a home equity line of credit to go buy a bunch of flat screen TVs and post them all around the house and just waste money on debt. That's not what we're doing. We are buying an asset, an income producing asset that, if done properly, will make us a profit. Okay, there's a big difference. So, we're not using a home equity line of credit to go buy a Maserati and just showcase around that we got this new car. That's not what we're doing. We are buying an income producing asset that we can sell at a profit that will pay off that home equity line of credit and leave a profit for us. Sub 2 financing, that is financing the deal and leaving the existing loan in place. Now, there are there are a language in loans, in residential loans, where if someone sells their property, the loan can be called due. The note can be called due. However, when somebody is 6 months or 9 months or 10 months past due on their loan, they haven't made any payments, and the bank is going to start the foreclosure process on them, quite often you can have an investor step in and they can bring the loan current. It's called a reinstatement. We're going to reinstate that loan and leave the loan in place while I fix up the house and I sell it, and then the loan gets paid off. Why do I need to go find another loan if there's already an existing loan in place? Now, just know that the loan can be called. You know, the lender does have the right to call the note due, and they might do it. Now, do they do it often? It just depends. If somebody's going to fix and flip the property in the next 90 days, I would say they probably wouldn't. And, you know, but you have to be ready. If the note gets called, then you've got to refinance, or hopefully you can sell it in that time. And this does two things. This benefits everybody in a certain way. Number one, you stop the foreclosure. This person's credit didn't get ruined. Number two, you brought the loan current. Now their credit reports are going to show that the loan got brought current. Why would they sell you the property and leave the note in place in their name? Well, let's bring that loan current. Let's get it paid off when the property flips, and let's show that we're making payments on that loan again. Now you've got someone who might not have been able to make payments due to COVID, losing a job, whatever might have happened. You know, I'll say this: bad things happen to good people. So it doesn't mean anything against them or anything that might have happened, but we go through difficult times. All of us have. And now their loan is past due. So now you have somebody coming in, bringing the loan current, reinstating the loan, stopping the foreclosure, making payments again. Now the credit reports are going to show that their loan is not only current, but now payments are being made again. That's going to have a huge boost on their credit. And it's going to buy you time to flip the property, and you don't have to go find conventional financing. Now, you have to have a certain amount of cash available to bring that loan current. And what might that cost? It just depends. It depends on how much the loan is past due and what are the monthly payments, and has the lender been paying the taxes on that property? If they have, they're going to add that to the reinstatement. So you just have to find out. That's really a case-by-case basis. But that's just one option of financing a deal. Owner financing. There are a ton of old rundown properties that people have inherited, and they don't know what to do with them. You have somebody in New York whose parents might have passed away, or somebody passed away, and they inherited this property here in Texas. And they don't want to come to Texas, and they don't want to deal with this. And now they got to start paying taxes on the property. What? Make me an offer. I've had people just say, make me an offer. I don't, you got someone who can come in, liquidate that asset, make an offer. Sometimes they will finance it for you because you're going to take this problem off their hands. Now, I got this property in Texas. I don't want to go to Texas. I don't even know anything about Texas. I don't want to deal with this. You got an investor who can come in and say, look, I'm going to fix this up for you. There's rats. There's all kinds of infestation in this house. Termites might be eating it up. I'm going to fix it up. We're going to sell it. I'm going to buy it from you right now. Can you finance it for me for 6 months or a year or 90 days? I mean, it just really depends. But people are willing to do this. And quite often when these properties are paid off, there's no note on the property. So they can finance it for you. Maybe you just need to make a down payment. It's all negotiable. And then lastly, joint ventures and partnerships. You want to partner with someone who knows what they're doing. You want to partner with someone who has experience. And you want to partner with someone who's honest and is going to teach you the way, show you the ropes. So that's basically that's my advice on that. Now, I will add on joint ventures, you have to have a JV agreement, a joint ventureship agreement, which you've got to have an attorney prepare that. and it's got to outline everything. Who is responsible for what? Who's responsible for financing the deal? How will the profits be split? And what happens when we have a difference in opinion? I say we go right, you say we go left. Who takes precedence? Because we can't steer the ship right into the wall, right? So we got to go left or right. Who has the upper hand? Generally, whoever's funding the deal, they're going to have the upper hand. He who has the gold makes the rules. So generally, that's how that will work. Or whoever has most experience. But somebody has to be able to call the shots in the event that we have a difference in opinion. And we have to be okay with that. So, and then also hiring the right contractor. I think we beat that dead. You know, you want to get someone who's honest and give you some actual numbers that you can hold them to. And then same thing on the realtor side. You want someone who's going to be honest and also tell you what the actual value of the property is, not some inflated fantasy number. Although we'd love to believe that, the smart investor wants the real deal. They want to know, what is this really worth when we want to flip it in 90 days or 6 months or however long it's going to take. And then lastly, I want to talk about fixing and flipping versus buying and holding. These are two different strategies. If it's an incredibly hot area, maybe the Heights or Washington Corridor or Rice Military or the Museum District or Memorial, it's an incredible area that is appreciating significantly, especially when we have 7% rampant inflation. Maybe I want to hold on to it. Maybe this can be a part of my retirement plan. Maybe I can just let the property pay for itself, and 20 years from now, it's going to be worth 3 times what it's worth today. In those instances, then can I go higher than the 70% of the ARV? Yes, you can. And why can you? Because what is the ARV 20 years from now? Who knows? I have no idea what the ARV is going to be 20 years from now. But again, if this is an area that is inside the Loop 610, it's a booming area. East Downtown has been known to do this, where the values are rising significantly and you can see the whole area being gentrified and just being updated. I might say this property, I'm going to hold on to it. And I can pay more than 70%. If I get 85 cents on the dollar, I might be happy with that because I'm not selling this in 90 days. The only thing I would add is you're going to have a long-term financing strategy. You know, you're going to probably want a 30-year fixed note, and there might be an owner willing to finance it for you for that, knowing that they have their notes secured by the property and it's paying a certain amount of interest every single month. And it's going to be a lot more than the savings account. I'll tell you that. Savings accounts are paying what? 0.000001% interest. Let's go to the comments. We got somebody saying, what about this rapid inflation? Should I take this into consideration? Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. And that's what I was just mentioning. If you're in a great area that's appreciating significantly, then I might hold on to that property forever or for at least 20 years. So that's something you might want to consider. So, those are two different factors. And that's why we need to know, what is the exit strategy? You know, an awesome investor friend of mine who's done over 1,000 fix and flips. They've done 1,000 properties. They've told me all of their buy and hold properties, all of their rentals, they didn't purchase them as rentals. They purchased them as fix and flips. And when they weren't able to sell them at the price they needed to make sense, they ended up renting them out. And all of their rental portfolio, however many homes they have, I don't know, 100 homes, they are due to fix and flips that weren't able to be flipped. And so they turned them into rentals, and they're going to rent them forever until they can get the value they need to. They're going to rent their way to flipping them. And that's also another investment. And that's also another exit strategy. So it really depends on your exit strategy and what you want to do. And that's exactly how you're going to look at doing these flips. So with that, I think we've covered a lot today. We're going to let that marinate. and we'll take some questions. Do we have any questions coming in?
There's one more question coming in.
Okay, what should I expect from a seasoned agent that can partner with me? Should I find one agent and grow that relationship? That is a great question. Yeah, absolutely. I would get a seasoned agent who, again, is going to be honest and who has a lot of business going on to where, doing one sale is not going to make or break them. And they could be totally honest with you. And I would get with an agent who's also an investor and is also going to look at this deal like if I'm investing in it. Where do I need to buy this property at to make sense? And at what point does this no longer make sense for me? And it's just time to move on. And I'll also add this. We have to come into this with an abundance mindset. I know whether you're in Birmingham, Alabama, I want to give a shout out to my friend from Alabama, and wherever you're at in the world. I know you're driving around your neighborhoods, you're seeing rundown properties, you're seeing abandoned properties, you're seeing properties that might need to be torn down or completely gutted. These are opportunities in the investment world. These are opportunities. The uglier the house, the bigger the opportunity. These are opportunities. And it is the real estate investor who is uplifting our communities, who are renovating these properties that are run down, abandoned, and are making them into beautiful homes that a family or anyone can move into. And now you have a property that is providing memories. It's where the family is growing and living, and the community is being revitalized. So there's a ton of opportunities. And now you might ask, okay, so I see this rundown property. I see an abandoned property. How do I get in touch with the owner? And there's so many ways that you can skip trace them. You can look them up on the tax records. With the internet, it's so easy to find someone. And so there's so many ways, and I won't go into too much context on that, but you can absolutely find the owners and see what is your intention with this abandoned property. Hey, there's people jumping in the windows and hanging around and just squatting on the property. Would you like to sell it? Quite often, people don't even know that. Like I said, they've inherited a property from someone, and they're like, I don't even know. I don't want to deal with this. Can you get rid of this for me? These are great, great, great opportunities. And what I want is us to go into this with an abundance mindset. There's so many deals out there that neither you nor I have enough time and just tenure to do all the deals that are in Houston. There's no way I can do all the deals that are in Houston at this very moment. That's why it makes sense to partner, and that's why it makes sense to look at deals, because if it doesn't make sense and it's not a deal and it's too risky, move on. Next. I'm going to the next deal. There's a ton of deals out there, and that's how we have to look at this, with an abundance mindset. So with that, I want to thank you for joining me today. We'll leave this slide right here. Make sure we're back at the same time tomorrow, 1 p.m. Central. We are going to discuss other investment strategies. I look forward to your comments. Let us know, what would you like to learn about? What are you interested in? I want this to be interactive, and I can't wait to see you next time. So thank you so much for tuning in with me. It's been my pleasure, and I look forward to growing with you and taking this to the next level. And we'll see you tomorrow, same time.